Hello, this is Raymond Mayfield, and thank you so much for tuning in to the broadcast today, and I appreciate you very much listening. I'm reading from Exodus 3, verse 1. Now Moses kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the back or the west side of the wilderness and came to Horeb, or Sinai, the mountain of God. The angel of the Lord appeared to him in a flame of fire out of the midst of the bush, and he looked, and behold, a bush burned with fire, yet was not consumed. And Moses said, I will turn and see this great sight, while the bush is not burned. I want to talk to you today about finding the mountain of God. There are many famous and many important mountains mentioned in the Word of God, but I want to focus on one of those especially mentioned in the book of Exodus today. It's called Mount Sinai. In the Bible it is referred to as also as Mount Horeb. Horeb was a sacred mountain which Sinai was the summit. It was located in Egypt and was a location God used to speak to his people. It was here Moses received the commission at the burning bush that I've just read to you. Here he brought water from a rock in chapter 17 and verse number 6. Here was a location fled to. It was fled to when he was running from Jezebel in 1 Kings chapter 19 and verse number 8. This is a location where people waited for Moses for 40 days while he was receiving some valuable time receiving the Ten Commandments. I want to say something about the Ten Commandments. I know people are saying we're living in the day of grace and we don't have to abide by those Ten Commandments anymore. There's nothing wrong with the principles of what is laid down by God in those Ten Commandments. It would be good if we lived by every one of those, and we certainly cannot go wrong. Maybe the Sabbath day is a little bit different in the Ten Commandments and the Old Law, but many of the commandments are reinforced by Jesus in the New Testament. We don't want anybody to steal or to kill, and so I don't know why people are so upset when people want to post the Ten Commandments in locations, because it's God's law that he gave to his promised people. And we should abide by those principles that are laid not only down in the New Testament, but in the Old Testament as well. And yes, we are living in the day of grace, and thank God for Jesus who came and destroyed the works of the devil. The revelation of God came to him unexpectedly. He was not in a church service. He was not in a typical place for a revelation of God to occur. The revelation came while he was tending to the flock on the backside of the desert. The revelation came from a common, ordinary bush. This bush was there for him to look at. He didn't have to look at it, but he turned to see what it was. He found that God was in the midst of the bush, and it was burning, but it was not consumed. And God spoke to him out of the burning bush and told him to go back and deliver his people from Pharaoh. We as people today, we can find the mountain of God, not a specific location, but we can find God in our life. But there's a lot of people that are troubled today. They've got depression. They've got all kinds of things going in their life. There's all kinds of situations that people are dealing with today. You can find God today if you seek him with all your heart. You can find him in prayer, and you can find him by reading his word. And God is real today. I want to tell you, God is real. I've experienced the reality of God in my own life personally. In prayer and in times I have found God to draw close near to me. He longs to fellowship with you today. Will you seek God today and reach out to him, because he is certainly reaching out to you. I want you to know that I love you. This is Raymond Mayfield. Thank you so much for tuning in to the broadcast today. I love you very much.